I heard you guessed her name right too right away, so she gave you the hint of flower. Roberta.
Hey. All those pictures, we just went through all those pictures this spring. And we saw all those wedding pictures, all those ones from way back when, all the way up.
Get our friends.
I just see that.
Yeah, Duran was there like after a month. Duran was going, oh, you gotta meet my son. And we're like, Rayanne was telling me this, and she's like, that sounds kind of scary to me. Well, they met like Christmas at a Christmas party. They had a date on New Year's Eve.
Well, because, I mean, you look the same, although we're older, you know what I mean? That's the big thing. Some people don't look the same, like Barb looks the same. I just really drive an iron
It's just a lot right now. It's only a week.
Pretty good.
Now, where are you at?
I'm at the home farm now.
Are you? You're all there then, huh? And then so you're in Where do you live? Where now?
We crossed the first tracks on the west side. Where Ross Furman lived before him.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, that White House. Drive through and see why isn't there anymore. You know, they go not replaced, but yeah.
So what do you do?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the problem when you.
Just me and you. There's another guy. We don't wait. We hit everybody.
Recognize that one.
Do you?
There's the man of the hour.
Yeah. A couple years older.
How you doing, Eddie? How you doing? Good.
We had some good times.
Grab a
Is that your official job?
Yeah, well, you know how it is, right?
That's Caleb. They got married almost 2 years ago.
I was saying 75.
I know.
How are you? You need help?
What do you say there, young man? How you been?
As a former basketball volleyball coach, I've always liked to have a challenge. It was always easy to beat the easy teams, but to beat the tough teams, it was a challenge. Barb, I think tonight's gonna be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see if I'm up to the task. So first off,
One second.
We'll leave it to Barb.
There you go. That's a little more fitting. Now you just don't talk about Trump while you're up here.
I won't, believe me, I won't. Last December, middle of December, we got some bad news over the internet about my brother Mark. And what I think of it, the doctor kind of said to Mark, I don't think we're going to make it up to North Dakota in July. To myself, I thought, the doctor doesn't know this guy as well as we do. He is a very positive person. And a couple of weeks later, I talked to him over the phone. He says, Mike, I will be up in Jamestown in July. For the last 6 months, I've checked Curing Bridge quite often. Last count, Mark had 3,951 visits. That says a lot about this guy. Then, we got some more grim news about Mark. And the doctor said, well, you're not going to be up in our court in July. But we're here. So today, this is going to be a challenge, but I need your help. We're going to do a couple different things. Help me out, cooperate. Let's have some fun. Then we'll get to eat a lot quicker than we want to. First off, special guest. They will be up here to my right. First off, my godparents, Buster and Janice. Would you stand up and be recognized? Buster was a superintendent for many years, but during the summer, he worked with my dad and some of her brothers and sisters putting up steel bins. He was a slave driver. He liked to get things done. One day, he gave us a challenge of putting up 4 bins in one day. So we started off about 6 o'clock in the morning with the lights on the pickups so you could see. Then by 10 o'clock, we did our goal. We got the 4 bins up. The next day, we were worthless. We were tucked out. Then, also I got another set of aunt and uncles, James and Sharon Neva. Would you stand please? When I was about this tall, I went down there because Mom took me down there to mow lawn. And when Jimmy got back, he said, Mike, let's go for a ride. So we got in this old Jeep. He said, put on your seatbelt, because we're going off to Grasshopper Hill, if I got that correct. So we went out there. It was kind of scary. I'll never forget that ride. I was glad when it was over with, but it was worth the time and effort to do it. And for lunch, Sharon always kept me busy. Again, I was only about this tall. The lawnmower is about like this. So I was too short to reach for the tall bar, so I had to push it with the middle bar. That was a challenge as well. But again, Sharon had always a lunch and a drink for me every half hour. So thank you again for being here. Next on, other guest cousins. There are 13 Nita cousins here, combining Jimmy's family and Dwayne's family. 13. Then we have 12 Tim kids, and then 5 from the Buckles. So how many kids are there in our families?
30.
30! Somebody's very smart over here. Correct. So throughout the days growing up, we spent many picnics together, family gatherings, and I believe it, we only had one problem. That's when Kurt and Russell would like to wrestle, playfully. But after that, a lot of good memories, and it was a lot of fun times with all of my cousins. So with that, now I'm going to call my sister-in-law to talk about her family. Brenda, you're up.
Hello, I'm totally unprepared. Already had my tears, some people saw them already. So anyway, Mark so lovingly when we were dating, he had mentioned that he would not marry me if he could not accept my daughter. He was not the father of Allison. He wouldn't marry me if he couldn't accept her as his own daughter. So when she was in middle school, he adopted her. We got married in 1995 in October, and we went on our 1-year anniversary, and I was 9 months pregnant with Christian. And do you think he dropped me off at the front of the restaurant? No, he parked way back, made me walk, big pregnant, to our dinner. We had Christian, and then in 2000 we had Logan, and then all of them were overdue, and I always say that Chance was 5 years overdue, because we got him when he was 5 years old, and we got to raise Chance also. So I have such a beautiful family. Allison and Bryce got married in 2022. Allison has Addie, 13, so we feel very fulfilled. We got some bad news about Mark, as you heard, and he has been a force to reckon with. That we didn't know what things were going to hold. I was really overwhelmed. I'm not an overwhelmed person or anxious, but when we got the news, I was dealing with a lot of anxiety because I didn't know if chemo was going to make him sick. I didn't know he was going to keep his hair. I wasn't sure what that was going to be like, because he has done so well. The doctor is even shocked. He came in at the hospital. His cancer numbers were 10,700. Anything over 25 is considered elevated, and he is down now to 51. And everybody can be a positive person. It's been Mark, and you've been overwhelmingly lovely. So I love you.
Next off, the Tim family. Could I have my brothers and sisters come up here in front of the line? Starting with the baby of our family on the left and working our way this way. Please come forth, brothers and sisters. Come on, hurry up, we gotta eat here later on.
We're not getting any older.
For most of these years, poor Lisa, she was the youngest, so she was always the last person to get to talk or whatever. Again, I do things different at times, so today we'll start with the youngest and work our way up. So, please tell the people your name, because some people may not recognize you from the past, what your job is, where you're from, and if you have a comment about our favorite brother.
Hello, I'm Lisa, the baby, the caboose, as Mom would call me, and Dad always called me Buffy. I'm in Dallas City. I work at Barnesville Water doing the office work there, and I have 2 girls, and one is in Minot and one is in Arizona. Just got married a little over a year ago.
Really?
And I guess probably my favorite memory with Mark is our raccoon, Chipper. We had so much fun with that raccoon, and a year later after she went off into nature, and we were playing basketball. And she came up behind him, and I told him, "You have a raccoon standing behind you," and he didn't believe me. So Chipper came back, and she had babies, and she was hungry, and she let him pick her up, and then she ate, hung around for a while, and then she went back into nature. So that was my favorite memory.
I am Mark. I'm the co-founder. the shy one, you know. So, Brenda's told you mostly about me, but I moved to Denver. I went to Washington for 2 years, did electrical technology degree there. Then I came home and actually worked at the Spiritwood malting plant here for about 10 months or so. We finished up a project there for Weldon Electric, still in Jamestown here. And then I went to Carrington, worked as a carpenter for another 6-8 months or so as a carpenter. And then helping out around the farm a little bit. Then after Gene got married, I headed to Denver and worked as a commercial electrician down there for the last 42 years or so. So before I got married, I worked up in the mountains quite a bit. I worked in all the ski resorts, Breckenridge, Keystone, Vail, Telluride. Spent almost 2 years at Telluride. And I was working in Vail, living in Vail with company housing. And one night my apartment kind of burned halfway through my apartment. And I was like, oh, okay, it's time to settle down somewhere before after half my stuff burned up, including all my pictures. So I don't have a whole lot of pictures, but I did a lot of mountain climbing, hiked all the 14s in Colorado, rafted most of the rivers down there with my buddies and friends, and then I settled down, moved back to Denver, and met up with Brenda. Worked on Coors Field for a couple of years, building a ballpark from start to finish, and they even let me work like the first 10 games of the season that 1 year. So, and after that, started raising the family and got busy coaching the boys in basketball, soccer, which I knew nothing about, and a little bit of baseball too, I guess. But I was never that great at baseball, so I was more of a water boy. So.
Mark,
Can you hear me?
tell them how you met Brenda.
Oh. Well, we had mutual friends through the years, and then one of our friends, Lonnie Schaefer from Carrington, actually got married, and then we started dating a little while after that. And she'd come up and visit me in Vail a couple times, and I ended up moving back to Denver. And I think we dated for 2 years. Yeah, and been married for 30 years, right? Something like that. Did a lot of, had a couple of boys, were Boy Scouts, did a lot of backpacking with Chance and Logan in the mountains with Boy Scouts. And one of the trips, me and a 75-year-old leader were the only 2 guys, and we had like Logan and about 6 other young 15, 14-year-old. We were backpacking in a couple days. About the 3rd day, one of the boys just got sick really bad. And like, okay, I'm out here with one 75-year-old man and me and all these teenagers. Like, oh, which way do we go? But after a couple hours, the boy felt a lot better. We made it, kept on hiking, and everything went well. But it was a little scary being that far back in the mountains and not a whole lot of support. I just had a lot of trips like that and turned out good. What else? Brenda kind of told you mostly about the family. So got that covered. And in June, I kind of retired from the company and got everything turned back into the company. I had a little bit of ownership in the company, so I sold that and everything. It was Grinder Electric. I worked there about 18 years. And before that, I worked for Riviera Electric for like 23 years or something like that. So only 2 or 3 companies I worked for in Colorado. It was pretty smooth over the years. Never really had to worry about work. I always had plenty to do. Like 2.5 weeks older than Steve over here. So on my birthday's when the doctor gave me my news. So it's kind of a bittersweet birthday. But so far everything's been pretty good, and the chemo hasn't affected me too much. I get a little bit of neuropathy in my hands and feet and stuff, it's pretty bad. But besides that, I haven't had very much nausea or any sickness. So been pretty lucky with the chemo, and the chemo seems to be doing its job. So hopefully we just push off the cancer as long as we can. So that's the best I'm hoping for. My neighbors, she's a pretty good. She's a nurse, and she always says, "You never know what God will do, so you just gotta go with it." And God can do miracles. So you never know, so that's what you gotta go with. So let's see. Here's what it is. Appreciate everybody being here. Get through everything, but appreciate all being here. A lot of faces I haven't seen in a long time, so really appreciate you all making it. A lot of years for me to come here than make it to 50 places here, so I'm glad you're here. All right, here's Barb.
I'm Barb. I didn't make it too far from home. I live in the Fargo-Moorhead area, Dilworth, and my family is the first two tables on this side. And there's one little 3-month-old back at the table sitting on great auntie's lap, I think. Oh, there she is. So one of my memories of Mark, I guess, playing Barbie doll with us 4 girls here. Remember playing Barbie doll with us? Daddy, does he play Barbie doll with you? So, yeah, he's a little younger than the other brothers, so he got stuck with us girls a lot of times. Riding bike, we had to all share one bike.
Not always.
Oh, yeah, there was Lisa, yeah. We say the spoiled one, but. So, well, I'll keep it short, but that's one of my memories of Mark. So.
I'm next, Jean Stouts. I live in the Twin Cities. My husband David here, and my son Robert and his wife Kayla. I also have 2 daughters. Just a few memories. I don't think anybody would know how many pair of glasses Andy went through. Whether it was a lawnmower or he lost them, but I just know Mom and Dad bought a lot of eyeglasses for that kid. Another one would be the last day of school. Andy rode the bike to school, and he was riding home, but we're not sure what direction he took. We had half of the neighbors looking for him, and it took a while. We're not sure what route he took. And the last memory was, we were skiing in Colorado, and we're up in the mountain with Andy and Sis, and we said the last one, we're gonna stop for lunch halfway down. The last one down buys lunch. Well, we know Andy can ski. He doesn't even hardly make turns. He can ski so fast. Anyway, he flew, he purposely lost the race just so he could buy lunch.
Hi, I'm Peggy Spitzer. We live here in Jamestown for 12 years, and 3 kids into farming, and 11 grandkids, and Jean took my idea about the glasses. We always got paid if we found Andy's glasses.
Just on the video that we have, pay attention to his glasses. You'll see little tape marks up there.
And the new memory we had is Jim and I flew out in April, and we did some hiking with Andy to make some new memories.
I'm Kurt, born back in Kensal with my 2 boys, 7 grandkids, and a lot of memories growing up on the farm, working cows, and Andy got in on the tail end of the grain bin, putting up. But a few years ago we were down in Denver, and he took us, showed us the highlights of Denver, Big Rock.
And Russell, I hope you don't want to wrestle today.
I'm still Mike. Last couple of days, I got to meet Andy's kids. They've changed from a few years ago. They used to be lean machines, skinny, and now I notice they're keeping up with my other two nephews, Kurt's boys, Tyson Tanner's. They're bigger, they're wider, they're taller. So I'd like to be a quarterback, and they would be my blockers. I think I'd feel pretty safe with these big boys. But being around them the last couple of days, they are impressive in how they act. Polite, just cordial. They're fun to be around. I'm sure Brendan won't say that all the time, but around me, it's been a pleasure to spend time with you the last few days. Thank you.
Jim, I'm married to Lila, my better half, my daughter Lacey, and I have 3 stepsons, Larry, Donnie, and Mike. One of my fondest memories of Mark, I was going to school in Wahpeton, and I met this girl named Carol Schroeder. She's from a Borchlage here, not too far from Carrington. I came home that weekend, I was talking about it. He says, well, I wanted to go to that wedding dance up in Carrington too. He said, I don't have a car. He says, I got a girl named Nancy. It was Carol Schroeder's cousin. So I said, Mark, do you want a double date? And he said, sure. So here we are, the 10 boys taking out the Schroeder girls. So the way up there was fine. We talked a little bit and got to the wedding dance. Here my sister Jean was there. She had a boyfriend too I didn't know about. So after the dance, we had a great time and everything, so we started heading home, and it got real quiet in the back seat. So I kind of peeked in the rear mirror a few times, see what's going on back there. Got real quiet back there. Finally, I looked over at Carol, I says, don't those two ever come up for a little bit of air? They pretended they didn't hear me, because they just kept on making out. So, got them making out, and I didn't think he was ready to go home yet, so I thought I better find a place to park. It seemed like all the action was in the back seat, not in the front seat. So the rest I really can't remember. I got a little memory loss, so you can about imagine what happened, but I got a kick out of Mark here. I was going to teach him something. He ended up teach his big brother how to pick up girls. So I did learn something from my little brother. So here you go, Bill.
Before I get to the job, Terry and I were talking the other night. It was back to his wedding day. And Terry was going to south of Jamestown here, right past the interstate. And I was a minute or two behind Terry in my vehicle. So I got up south of Jamestown here, just maybe a quarter of a mile. I see Terry walking around in his tux. I thought, uh-oh. Then I looked around, I seen Terry's precious car all schmucked up. Somebody creamed him from the back, and then his car hit the car in front of them. So his car got a double whammy. Yeah, all of that. Then what I learned from Terry the other night, is that he had a passenger in the car with him. So after the accident, Terry got out and he noticed gas all over the highway, the pavement. And he was getting chewed out by the driver ahead of him and getting chewed out by the driver behind him. Terry said, what could I do? But then he noticed, or he remembered that he had a passenger in his car. Guess who that was? I said, guess.
Mark,
I'll tell you.
you.
No, it wasn't me. I was the leader.
Mark.
Bingo. And I didn't realize that until a night or two ago. Terry told me it was poor Mark. So Terry realized I better get back to my car, shut it off. Otherwise, we might have just a little bit of a fire and things wouldn't have been very good. Okay, Sister Deb.
I'm Deb, and I live in Princeton, Minnesota, and my husband Denny is the one that's videotaping, so they have memories to go back on. And I'm the mother of 5 kids, and 3 of them made it today. And my sisters, and I'm also a great grandma. So my sisters, when I became great grandma, they gave me a hard time about being a great grandma. I said, well, I may be a great grandma, but I said, you guys are great aunts. And the memory I have of Andy, that's the way I still think of him in my mind. He's Andy. And I think of him as Mark and Brenda, but just when I think of him, I think of Andy. And being I was quite a bit older, I don't really have a lot of memories of Andy, but I do remember that we kind of nicknamed him Clarence, because there was a TV show at that time, and there was a lion on there that was a little cross-eyed. So
You're gonna hit the camera.
Well, I will pass this on to Roberta. Thank you.
As we wait, a question for our brothers and sisters. Who in the world switched Mark's name to Andy? Who do you blame for that?
Robert Tim.
Robert Tim, that's what was my answer.
You wanna know why?
Why?
There was a senator named Mark Andrews from North Dakota, from the great state of North Dakota. And Dad always, that's my Mark Andrews there. So we always called him Andy, but it's Mark Andrews, senator from North Dakota. That's who he's named after, I think.
Senator
Mark Andrews.
Hi, I'm Roberta. I'm the third oldest, and I currently live in Emer, Wisconsin. I've been there for 36 years. I'm retired. I did most of my career working in school nutrition programs. I am a Bison fan. That's my alma mater. So when the Bison are on, I always get a text from Barb over there, who was another big Bison fan, and we always have little chit chats about the Bison and who's going to win and that kind of thing. I was gone from home quite a while, went to college when Andy was little, or Mark, but I do remember seeing pictures of him with that cross-eyed look. And you couldn't tell if he was looking at you or not. But he was always there and in the crowd. My most recent memory that I've had since Mark got his diagnosis is we are a big hockey family. All my kids skated hockey. We follow the Minnesota Wild hockey team a lot. And I know Andy's family has a little bit of Colorado Avalanche in their blood. So this year, when the NHL playoff games were going on, I called Mark and I said, I want to place a bet with you. If you cheer the Wild, we're playing the Avalanche. If you cheer for the Avalanche to lose, I will cheer for the Wild to win. And he said, well, how much do you want to bet? And I said, well, how about a beer? He goes, okay, we can do that. Well, I lost that bet. I said, before we confirmed everything, I said, well, I don't drink a lot of beer anymore, so I upped mine to wine. And then he upped his to whiskey. And I'm going, oh, well, when's the next time I'm going to see you? I'm going to start saving up for this. So anyway, Mark won. His Colorado Avalanche beat the Minnesota Wild in a playoff game. So we had to bite our tongues in Wisconsin and deal with that. But today, I bought a surprise payback gift for Andy. I hope he will hang on to this for a little while. It is Wisconsin Spotted Cow beer. You can only buy it in Wisconsin, so we traveled with it here. And it's up to you if you're gonna choose to share it with your family.
Thank you.
So, are we even now? I paid my debt? Okay.
Also, go Avs.
Go Avs!
I'm number 2 out of the 12. And the people I most admire in my life is my mom and dad. Because we wouldn't be here if they hadn't gotten together, right? But a dozen kids, I had 1. And I stopped at that good number, but I have the best part, I got grandkids here, and that's the great part. I'm Lorraine, I live in Bismarck, Mandan. I've been a school teacher and retired now for quite a few years and really enjoying life. So, you know, do what you want in your life, love it, and then retire and enjoy the best part of your life. So with that, you get the oldest.
You have to bring that up. Yeah, you know what? The thing is, there's lots of Tims, and unfortunately, I'm the damn oldest one from all. But now I lost my train of thought there. But little bit about my accident there with Mark in the car. I got out of the car and I walked back and I seen that gas tank split open and gas running all over. And oh God, it's still running. And I run back to the car because I knew if a spark would have ignited that gas, it might have even blew up, you know. And Mark was sitting in the car, and my heart just sank. And I told Mark, get out, and he got out, and I shut that car off as fast as I could. I'll never forget that day. And anyway, you know, you kind of wonder, well, was this meant to be or not, you know? And I proceeded on and got married that night. And, you know, my grandma on my Neva's side, her name was Helen. My mother's name was Helen. And what do you suppose my wife's name is? Well, you guessed it, it's Helen. And she's sitting on the second table to your right, straight in front of me, with our youngest son, Tony. His real name's Anthony, but he likes to go by Tony. And our oldest son is in South Carolina, Richard, and he has our four grandchildren. The only 4 grandchildren we have at this time. We're kind of banking on Anthony a little bit there. Another little funny story was, I love to go to auction sales. So there was an auction sale, we were living down in Milner, and there was an auction sale up at Castleton. And it was Senator Mark Andrews' auction sale. And I think Kurt and I might have both been at the auction sale. And I had an opportunity to talk to this Senator Mark Andrews. And I said, you know, my dad names his youngest son after you, Mark Andrew. And that's my story of how Mark got the name Andy from Mark and Andrew. Anyway, okay. You know, several of you out here got younger brothers and sisters, I'm sure, just like we do. But you know, we hit the jackpot with Mark.
Good job. We're dismissed. I got a correction. The Tim kids. I counted the 12 that were just up here. I forgot about 2 other ones. So I'm gonna have them stand up. Mary Beth and Karen, you were also Tim kids before you got married. Stand up and be recognized. Next, we're going to ask the class of 81 from Ketzel High School to come forward and form a line like you just saw. Class of 81. The spray in the town of Torrington. And I took off about 5:30 in the morning. Why it's really, I have no idea. And about 6 o'clock, my boss called, "Are you on your way?" I said, "Yes." Well, he said, "I got a guy, his last name is Simonson, and I believe he's from Texas." Does anybody here know of a guy named Simonson from Texas? Because I didn't. So I got up there, and we went out spraying a little bit, we came back, and I walked across the parking lot out there, and I ran into this guy. And I said, "Good morning," he said hello, and we just kept walking. So about an hour later, I got done with my tank and the spray tank, and I went back into the shop to talk to my boss. And my boss must have said my name a few times, Mike, and Mike. Well, anyway, the guy that was walking out on the street where I met earlier, he must have good ears. Because after I got done talking to my boss, I walked out into the main area of the shop. And this guy turns around and looks at me and he says, you don't know me, do you?" And I thought, says, "I'm sorry, but no, I don't know you. How about I give you a couple clues?" I said, "Yeah, please." His first clue, he said, "Your brother was the best man in my wedding." So I thought, I got 4 brothers.
Yeah.
My mind was still blank. I said, "Help, more help." Well, Mike, I was a neighbor of yours for only about 25 years. I thought, well, that's a good clue, but still didn't ring a bell. And then I says, "I give up." So this guy takes off his cap, and before he started to say "Dar," it kicked in. It was Darcy Simonson. And my boss, who I sprayed with that morning, he was just awed by that. And he thought, why would a guy from Texas come up and buy chemical and take back to Texas and spray? Because that's why he wanted to spray. That's why he wanted to talk to my boss about buying chemical. But then I realized he's got some CRP that I think the Spitzer's kind of operating farm with. He wanted to spray those weeds. So I was amazed how that turned out. It was kind of neat. And he said at the end, Mike, I will try to be there. If I don't make it after that July 18th ceremony for Mark, I will be flying to Denver to meet up with and talk to that boy. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, I think we'll leave Mark on the hook for a little bit. So, next off, again, say your name, where you're from now, your career, and if you have any different stories, whether they be funny, sad, or whatever, give it a shot. And when you're done, please hand off.
All right.
Cousin Steve.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. As you just blew, I'm double dipping. I was not only a classmate of Mark's, but I'm also cousin of Mark. We were, not a couple weeks apart in terms of age and everything. So go back a long ways, and I'm so happy to see so much of our class here. Over half of our class here. Reminds me of the story. I always tell my kids and other people, I say, I graduated the top 10 of my class. So do the math. We were sitting at the table listening to some of the stories. First of all, questioning, Andy, they called him Andy, but why? So now we know why. But the glasses, we were thinking, remembering the glasses. You always had thick glasses, tape, always tape, athletic tape on the glass.
They're my meta glasses at my time.
Yeah. One of the memories, I remember up at your farm one time, you guys had a little pony up there. We tried to ride that thing in the corral, and none of it threw all of us off. But that was one of my memories up there. Your dad was probably just shaking his head at us.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm Steve. I live in West Fargo. My wife, Jody, is back there. We've got 3 kids. I worked, out of college, NDSU, televised fan. I went to Indiana, worked for Cummins Engine Company for a few years, and then wanted to get back closer to home. So I started working for Melrose, got on out in Bismarck, worked there a couple years. Melrose, maybe you don't know that name. That's now a Bobcat company. So that was previous name of Melrose. So I worked there for a couple years, moved to Gwinner, or moved to Lisbon, worked down in Gwinner, and for the last 20-some years then, my career was I lived in West Fargo, worked out of the office there. I retired 2 years ago. Who talked about retirement? Yeah, it's the best thing anyway, so. So that's what I'm doing these days, so. I'll hand it off to you now.
Harrison, and I live in Bismarck. I have 3 children. I'm a retired nurse. I've been retired since 21. And good times with Mark, maybe some partying at his trailer, Denver. And remember, Mark, when we did the trumpet duet, I think in Cooperstown?
Yeah, about this tall.
And then I was this tall, and way down here, and now look at him. Lots of good times, we had a great class. So.
Hi, I'm Brenda Vining Rask, and I lived in Carrington up until 2020. I have a nursing background and retired as vice president of operations at the hospital there, and loved retirement, and retired and moved to Bismarck, and I absolutely love it there. Also love to hike and walk, all those things, and anytime I can get a chance to hike, I'd love to come out and do those. Those we're talking about, they're great. My husband and I together have 5 kids and 12 grandchildren, and that keeps me busy, and that's what I spend a lot of my retirement with. But I do remember the glasses every time everybody talks, like, yeah, we remember that. But I do remember you as being the gentle soul in our class, and always the nice guy, and it sounds like you still are, so that's pretty awesome. And I remember our last class reunion, I said, I don't care who I see, I need to see Mark, because I hadn't seen you since graduation, I think it was, And I was successful and I did get to see him, so that made my day.
I'm Beth Neva, and I'm also a cousin of Mark's. And I basically just love Mark so much. Actually, how I even got his phone number and found out that he was ill was Terry. I had talked to, I was at church in Kensal, and Terry was dropping something off for, I believe, Kathy Johnson, and then we started talking, and then, you know, I got Mark's number and passed it on to some of my classmates here. So I was really happy to hear that everything was going good with his treatment. And Mark's really special. We had a lot of fun in college, and he's just a really, really nice guy. And yes, we remember the glasses with his glasses very well. But you know, because when he went forward, sometimes they would want to fall off. But you know, we do remember that. But we can't believe how tall he is now. It's just crazy. It's just beautiful. So anyway, so I basically am still working. I'm not retired yet. I hope to be semi-retired sometime soon. And I have a son, and I have beautiful grandchildren in Fargo. That's it.
My name is Steve Bush. I live in Kindred. Been living there for 45 years now. Have my own shop up there. I remember playing basketball with Mark, and we had a short team. The two of us were tallest was me and yeah, I'm not good about speaking in front of crowds, so this is kind of edgy. Yeah, I work on cars all my life. I fix them, all the new ones, everything. I've been doing that for a long time. I have one boy that's 18 that just graduated this year. So he's gonna go to Wapanen to science school and try and take over the same job I'm doing. Hopefully he takes it over and does well. So that's the best I can do for him. But it's nice to see Mark. It's been since college, or since high school, since I've seen you, so it'll be good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ken Wolf. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I moved down there about 15, 16 years ago. Me and Mark were very good friends in high school. It would seem like me, him, and Darcy got into a lot of adventures together.
Blackberry brandy.
Yeah. Drinking involved. I have so many stories that I'll never ever tell. I actually worked for the city of Cavalier for 22 years in law enforcement. I have no idea how that ever happened. Mark has been great to be around. He was our grounding rod in high school. He kept us out of a lot of trouble. He wasn't always successful, but he did a pretty good job. We've been friends since high school. I don't get to see him as often as I would like to, but it sure is nice to catch up with him. I appreciate being his friend. I hope he does reciprocate. Thank you.
A month ago, Mark called one of these, or they called him, I'm not sure which way it was. But after about an hour and 47 minutes and about 32 seconds, the phone call finally ended. So which of you would say that you love to talk on the telephone?
It was me. We had a lot to catch up with.
Bingo. Nothing wrong with that.
We had fun. Catching up. Yeah.
Very good, Class 81. Super. Thank you. Okay, next off, I'm going to ask Mark's cousins to just stand up where you're at we're not gonna line you up no more. Mark's cousins, please stand up. Okay, if I was to talk about each one of these, I might be here for another hour or two. So I'm just gonna pick out a few of those. The first one would be Tim Neva. My first game coaching boys basketball at Gray City. Mark gave me a scouting report on how to handle Todd, his cousin, and Tim, his other cousin, and Steve, his third cousin. The one thing he said about Tim, make him go left, because he can't. The second thing he said, don't let him get hot, because if he gets hot, he stays hot. With Todd, he said, just keep him around the basket. He'll give us 12 rebounds and 12 points. He'll do all right if you keep him to that. Steve, he never said much because he said Steve usually sat beside him on the bench. I know what that feels like from my playing days. So, back to Tim. He gets out there. The first quarter, he has his 8 points. So, my scouting report didn't do much. End of the game, he was up around 30 points in my gym of Gray City. Needless to say, the Kelso Spartans won. Tim, good job. I never got to shake your hand at night, but good job. The next cousin is Nita. On my mom's side, Nita, stand up. I had my volleyball team up west of Minot. And I walked in the door and the tournament director said, "Hi, Coach Tim. Welcome to our tournament." And this tournament is probably the toughest one in our state. They only invite the good teams. We weren't good before that, so we never got invited. But the year before that, we went to state, and this person saw what we were capable of playing volleyball. So, during the tournament, I was watching the game, and this one young, pretty woman comes up to me. I was sitting down, and I tried to think of her name, kind of like Darcy. It didn't ring a bell. And again, I said she was pretty, and then she started saying about, she was talking to my girls, my volleyball players, and was asking them, do I look like your coach? And I never got the answer from my girls, or she did. Then I realized it was my cousin, Nita. Small world sometimes. And then my last cousin I was going to talk about is Colette. Is she around today? Colette.
She is standing.
And my memory of Colette. When I hate number 9 highway ditch, I usually see Colette in the morning going to Carrington, and then in the afternoon, I see Colette coming home. Always a wave, always a smile. So every year I cut hay, I look forward to seeing Colette go back and forth from Carrington. Thank you, all of you cousins, for being here today as well. Okay, now, Mark's nieces and nephews. For those who are here today, it's your turn to stand up where you're at. Mark's nieces and nephews. Okay, before you sit down, I had a great volleyball team. We had a record of 36 wins and 3 losses. The only team that could beat us that year was Mayport. Otherwise, we beat everybody else. The funny part about that was what we did on the bus rides to and from our matches. I had a superstar girl, 4.0 student, attractive, kind of shy, and she was an all-state volleyball player. The problem with two of these nieces or nephews was that she fell in love with one of my nephews. What could be worse? She fell in love with my second nephew. And I don't want to say names, but I'm going to say initials. One of my nephews' initials are TT. The other nephew that my player was in love with was AS. So who were my two nephews that didn't know that this girl loved them? Titus Tim, bingo!
And Adam Spitzer.
Adam Spitzer, correct. Okay, you may sit down, please. To finish that off, end of the year we have awards night. So to get even with these two nephews, I was going to hire them to come up and walk Melissa down to the awards table to pick up their award, escorted by Adam and Titus. But I chickened out there and I didn't do it. But there was nothing ever to it. It was that they liked this Melissa girl so much, they wanted her to know that she was a cool girl. Okay, next up, on to a little bit deeper, Mark's great grandnieces and nephews. Those would be the young types. Please stand up. The other day I noticed that Mark fell in love with one of these nieces. I'm not going to say nephews, but it had to be a niece. If you look back, way in the corner, with the girl with the black hair and the little baby. Mark was holding her for about a half hour, and I swear that the two fell in love with each other. That was cute to watch. So, thank you, nieces, great nieces, I'm Mark's. Then, lastly, for anybody who has not stood up tonight yet, here's your chance. Whether you be a neighbor, a friend, an enemy, stay up so we appreciate that you're being here as well. Come on, Mr. Reverend. Hey, there we are. Oh, Mr. Begley. Thank you. Thank you as well. Okay, back to our sister, Barb. Get up here, please. Barb.
Barb. I have to come up there?
Yes, you The last month or so, I've become attached to that young lady that she was just holding a little bit ago. Her name is Stevie Greshik. Believe me, she doesn't look like her dad, but I see a little bit of her grandma in her. Stevie fell in love with one of my black baby calves. Then, I kind of compare her, I don't know if you ever heard of a girl, Taylor Swift. Barb sent me a video of Stevie singing a song from Taylor Swift. So down the road, it wouldn't surprise me if this girl makes it big as well. She's a very talented girl, a very nice girl. Thank you, Stevie. Barb, you're not done yet. So You can send your granddaughter back if you want. This girl has put a lot of work into what we're having here tonight. You know, there will be a video later on. I'm dying to see that. So, I think we need to say a big thank you to Barb for all the work she has done with this program. Way to go, Godmother! Okay, can we do just maybe a little bit better than that? I think we could. Thank you. Okay, 10, 15 years ago, I retired from coaching. And then a couple of young girls who knew how to play volleyball way better than I did tried coaching. The first girl, she quit after a year. The next girl, she also quit after 1 year. So a couple of months later, I got the phone call. It was a school board member. Mike, we need you back to coach some volleyball. We have a good group of girls coming. Consider it. So I did for a few months. But first off, I decided I'm going to drive about 10 hours to go see my favorite brother and his family. So I drove 10 hours down to Denver. Mark gave me the directions I needed. And my second goal of going to Denver is to become a better volleyball coach. So during the days, I go to this clinic. At night, Mark would keep me busy. Going to see the baseball stadium, helping Brenda's mother move, I think, eating, and one day he took us out to the Rocky Mountains. We got out there, it's about 1 o'clock, Mark says, Mike, we gotta get down pretty quick. Why? He said, lightning. So I got down that mountain pretty quick. The days I was at the clinic, first day, this big time volleyball coach had us get up. So I got up and said my name and I said, I'm from North Dakota. Some smart aleck coach said, where's that? Then our second job was to say how many girls we coach volleyball. Well, I said I coach about 16. Then they laughed a little bit louder. But at the end of the clinic, the coach came up to me. He's an Olympic coach, USA coach, Minnesota Gopher coach. Came up to me and said, Mike, if your girls play half as hard as you do when you play volleyball, your team will be successful. And then 3 or 4 years down the road, we were successful. So I thank Mark and his family for that week in Denver. I can't wait to get back. That's going to be pretty quick. I've been putting it off too long. Okay, my last thing before I think we probably get to eat is I would like to have you hug somebody that's nearby you. One simple hug. his family were going to be in Ketzel that night. So the next day, I was out mowing hay. All that night before I mowed the hay, I made a promise to myself. And that promise was, the first time I see this guy right up here, in person, he's getting a hug from a guy who hasn't hugged him in about 60 years. So that morning, I saw Tanya in a gray van, went by me where I was mowing. And I turned around and here she hit the brakes. I think I heard the squeals. She flipped it around, came back, and pulled over on the side of the road. I thought, should I give Mark that hug now or later? It was a hot day, humid, I was sweating, and Mark popped out of the back door of the van. We got about a foot apart. We looked at each other and thought, uh-oh, it's gonna happen. But then, Mark was all showered up, clean. I didn't want him dirty. So I didn't. Also, there were some strange faces in the back of the van. I had no idea who they were until later. So what did I do? I chickened out. I never did that hug. But I didn't forget. So tonight, I'm not going to chicken out.
Painted Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. He climbed to see the mountains, he saw silver clouds below. He saw everything as far as you can see. And they say that he got crazy once and tried to touch the sun. And he lost a friend, kept a memory. Now he walks in quiet solitude, the forest and the stream, seeking grace in every step he takes. His eyes turned inside himself to try and understand the serenity of the clear blue mountain lake. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen rain and fire in the sky. Off the mountains and to the casual goodbye. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still looks clear of the simple thing he cannot comprehend. While they try to tear the mountains down, bring in no more people long, long road. From which there is no return. While we're on the way to live, why not share? He ain't heavy, he's my brother. He's my The older I get, the more I think. You only get a minute, better live while you're in it, 'cause it's gone in a blink. And the older I get, the truer it is. It's the people you love, not the money and stuff that makes you rich. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get, the fewer friends I have. But you don't need a lot, and the ones that you got, they've always got your back. And the older I get, the better I am. Knowing when to give and when to just not give a damn. And if they found a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get. Souvenirs and little signs of the life I've lived. The older I get, the longer I pray. I don't know why, I guess that I've got more to say. And the older I get, the more thankful I feel for the life I've had and all the life I'm living still.
go away thinking that we all need to live every day like we were dying. So, help us satisfy us, both mentally, physically, and emotionally, through your love and understanding, and your peace and grace, dear Lord. Amen.
Amen.